Lumos Maxima.
That is right. If you've been cycling during the fall and winter like I have, then you definitely need a really strong bike light. This here is the Magicshine EVO 1700, and this is from AliExpress. This is probably the best piece of equipment for safety that I have on my bike. Let's get into it. Now, when you're thinking safety on a bike, lights really help you to be seen and also help you to see the road ahead. And this thing definitely helps you to see the road ahead. This Magicshine EVO 1700 really packs a punch. It's super bright at 1700 lumens on its max setting. It's got 6 main light settings. On the low beam side, there's 3 settings, low, medium, high, and on the high beam setting, there's also low, medium, high, so 6 settings for the solid light. Now, if you use the remote, you also have 2 additional settings, which is the flashing mode, and I actually tend to use the flashing mode quite a bit because a flashing light captures more attention than just a steady light. All right, so this here is the Magicshine EVO 1700. I believe it's an aluminum body, but also with a plastic casing here. And you do have your lanyard, just in case the light happens to fall off the mount. This here is a quick connect portion, the latch. I initially thought it was a button, but however, it is not a button. Actually engages the latch to release the bike from the mount. So it's really handy for when you're charging and you just want to remove it from your mount. And here you do have the gasket for the USB-C charging port. And so it does use USB-C charging. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn this on by pressing and holding the button. So on low beam, this light is 200 lumens and 11 hours of runtime. On medium, it's 400 lumens, 5.5 hours runtime. And on high, on the low beam, 800 lumens and 3 hours of runtime. We'll go to high beam. High beam low, this is 400 lumens, 6 hours of runtime. High beam medium, 800 lumens, 3 hours runtime. High beam high, 1700 lumens, and 2 hours of runtime. So not too much runtime that you're getting, but it is super bright and you've got 2 hours of runtime on that. We got low beam at low brightness, low beam at mid brightness, and low beam at high brightness. High beam, mid, and high beam. Now, if you use the remote right here, you actually double click this square button and you get the flashing. So this one is 400 lumens and then 1700 lumens. So it's still on both flashes and you get 3.5 hours of runtime for this. On the day flash, 0, so off, and 1700 lumens, you get 5 hours of runtime, and this is my personal favorite. You get the best of both worlds for brightness, flashing, as well as runtime. So 5 hours on this one. So just to show you for the remote, there are a few different settings. You can actually cycle through the different modes based on similarly pressing the button on the actual device. So low, medium, high, double click, you get low on high beam, medium, high. And if you press a square, so I just went down to, let's say low beam. If you press a square, it automatically sets it to high beam high. That's like a quick, neat feature. And then you press to go back. So anytime you want to high beam someone, and then also your clicks. So really neat to have this remote, and it does play a big role when controlling the light because sometimes it is quite difficult to access the button on the side here to actually press it while you're riding. So there is also a battery indicator here. Now it's showing red, so it is low battery. I believe if it's charged, it'll show a green solid light. But overall right now it is depleted, so I do have to charge this. It does also come with the out front mount that you can attach to your handlebar, which is really neat. And it already has the GoPro style mount on the bottom. So they do include that in this kit. I do like that this goes under your computer. It's really handy to have it underneath. And I've even had it mounted on my bike with the Insta360 as well. So the Insta360 X4, I do have their bike front mount, which allows you to attach the light underneath, the camera in the front, and then my Magicshine C606 bike computer on the top. Now, I would say overall this bike light has been quite well designed. It did even win a Red Dot Design Award for 2024, which is pretty cool to see. But overall, you might think this thing looks kind of funky and chunky. Like, it doesn't look like your typical bike light, but this little thing is super powerful. It could be blinding. This is my all-time favorite bike light so far. I have used other cheap lights here and there that don't come anywhere close to this in terms of the output of the light, as well as the actual beam pattern of the light. This beam pattern is very tuned, and I really like it. It's definitely like a car headlight in my opinion. Now, this is also waterproof, so you don't have to worry about it. IPX6, which is, if I'm not mistaken, is water jets, so this will hold up in the rain. I have ridden with this and there seems to be no issues. It's got a 3.6 volt, 4000 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty hefty for this size. And this thing does have an app as well. However, I haven't downloaded it just yet. I might get it just to see if I can play around with different scenarios of custom presets that will prolong the runtime of the light while giving me the best beam pattern. I would say the downside is that the battery life doesn't last too long. I wish that there was a bit more capacity in terms of the battery. On the very low end, it's 11 hours, which is pretty good, but I don't use the low setting that often. I do tend to use the flashing on and off, which is about 5 hours of use, which almost gets me to a couple days of commuting, which is not bad. However, for the amount of light that's thrown and for the smaller size that it's housed in, I can't complain too much. Now, the remote is a bit finicky, and I have found a couple times where it just wouldn't work. I'm not sure if it's some type of battery contact issue or something. However, I will say that the remote wasn't the best in terms of reliability. Now, it might have been because of the vibrations or what have you. I will say that this light, the EVO 1700 from Magicshine, is a must-have for myself while cycling and commuting. It really helps me to be seen. I've been seen out on the road. I also set it to high beam when I'm going through the trails and it's super dark and really pitch black and I really need to see further ahead. Overall though, for the price you pay on AliExpress, it is a great light that can save you, that will definitely provide you with some bright lights for your commutes or your bike rides, either in the morning or at night whenever it's dark out. It's also a good daytime running light on low or on flashing. Now, you just have to ensure that the light is properly mounted so that the beam pattern is not in the eyes of oncomers or drivers, unless you want to do that, of course, which might piss off the drivers, but you'll definitely be seen. Solid light, really bright. There's definitely magic in this. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you've used a Magicshine light before, if you've used the EVO 1700 specifically. What light are you rocking for those dark rides? Until next time, ride safe, be seen, and have a good one.